let's just talk about the Knicks. Let's get that out of the way really quickly
Hmm.
because I mean, I I have tepid optimism about this season because I do think that Brunson looks really good. He's looked great in the preseason, and obviously it's been well documented how the Knicks have missed a true point guard for such a long period of time. But I have just my concerns about Julius Randle on the team in general. I feel like he's a complete albatross around the neck of the team, and he's not allowing for a guy like Obi Toppin to be playing starting caliber minutes and really developing in the way that he should. Because I actually believe in Toppin's upside, even if he's not where he doesn't have like the rebounding ability right now that Julius Randle has. But I'm curious about your thoughts about how the Knicks are going to fare this season because Tibbs not the best young guy developer in the league,
Yeah.
and he's going to be playing these vets. But so I guess I'm kind of just lukewarm on their prospects in general.
So I think every Knick fan has an understanding about what's happening at the top of the organization, where the CAA guys have come in and basically made the entire organization, a CAA proxy situation, right? And people might say, okay, well, how does that actually play out in practice? What are the consequences of that? Who cares? So what? Right? Emma, like, so what if it's all CAA? Like,
Right.
show me how it's been a detriment to the Knicks. And I think this is issue number one of how the CAA thing has been a detriment, and that's Tibbs, right? He's a CAA guy. Obviously has a great relationship with Leon Rose. They're very close. And I think if in a normal running organization, there would be a pivot that said, you know what? We tried to do the chase wins, win at all costs kind of thing. We couldn't bring in a star like Donovan Mitchell. We couldn't bring in another star. We brought in Jalen Brunson, but we understand like he's not at the level, he's not a perennial all-star essentially. And so we need to embrace our youth movement, right? We need to open up the spot. We need to find a home for Julius Randle. We need to start playing Toppin. We need to, Grimes, who was so important, he couldn't be, he was made untouchable in a potential Donovan Mitchell deal. We need to start giving him minutes, and embrace this youth movement. And anybody, Tibbs, whoever, who stood in the way of that would have to be gone because we need to see the development of guys like Barrett, Toppin, quickly, all of those players that you mentioned. But because this La Familia situation that we got going on in New York, Tibbs is going to be there, and Tibbs is going to do what Tibbs does. Like, he's going to play Evan Fournier a bunch of minutes. Like, he's going to play the vets. He's not going to he's going to try to win every game at all costs. And sometimes development has to come before maybe grinding out a 10 seed and eventually flaming out in the play-in. Like, eventually development is going to have to take precedent over that. I don't believe that you can do this on two tracks. I don't think you can do it efficiently anyway on
Right.
two tracks. Maybe you can be dragged kicking and screaming there, right? In the sense that playing Randall, keeping Tibbs, and then it sucks. And then out of just self-preservation, Leon Rose and them can be like, oh, okay, Tibbs gonna go. Because that's what GMs do. It's like, obviously, it's not my GMing that's ruining the operation. Who can we blame next on this situation? Oh, Tibbs, yeah, get him out of here. So that'll be their last sort of bullet to fire. But I just think it's inefficient. Like, Tibbs and Randall are stopping this team from embracing their destiny.
Yeah. I mean, and I feel like I'm still holding out hope that Randall could be some sort of deadline piece where maybe the Knicks are going to be able to sell higher than they thought that they could in the offseason. But I just do worry about the the development, of course, of Obi Toppin. But even with guys like Rose still in the mix, it's just a difficult situation for, I feel like they're one foot in, one foot out always on how they're actually going to move forward. And I'm happy about the assets that they have in terms of first round picks down the line, and hopefully that'll pay dividends. But the what was supposed to happen was like this Donovan Mitchell situation was set up exactly in the way that the Knicks wanted it to be, which was it was a disgruntled star. We have all these first round picks. We're gonna make a move for a star player who wants to be here, who's from New York, and it just didn't happen. So now they're in no man's land, and they both have these vets that I know they're gonna get more playing time, and they have these talented young kids who you want to see how they actually pan out. And I just don't know what the path forward is from here on that front. And also I should say, like, Leon the Don, his whole brand was, I have these relationships and I'm going to be able to bring a big fish here. And he has yet to do that. He's yet to do that.
Yeah, I'll say this for the Knicks and the Donovan Mitchell thing. I think they're going to end up being happy that they didn't make that deal
Yeah.
because it was just, they can't put a bunch of like 5 future first rounders in the deal that ultimately makes them a 7 seed after in perpetuity, right? They don't have the pieces. I think Cleveland, even without Donovan Mitchell, is going to fight for a playoff seed. For in the playoffs, 5 seeds, like out of the play-in, regardless, because of their young core. They add Mitchell to that, so it's like, yeah, if we give up a bunch of future firsts and a bunch of swaps, even the worst case scenario of this, we're never going to bottom out. It's never going to be a situation where we're sending the Knicks, multiple picks in the top 7 or something crazy. Like their young core is so much better than New York's. The framework of the deal that Ainge was asking for just makes more sense. The Knicks with Donovan Mitchell, like, one, he could have left from free agency. And that's the thing for Cleveland. Like, if he leaves, or if they decide in 2 years or so that they want to flip Donovan Mitchell for assets or whatever, like, that's not a problem, right? They can do that, replenish the draft pick coffers, and keep it pushing with a young core that is obviously just more talented than what New York's players have shown to be. When you talk about Garland and you talk about Mobley and even Jared Allen,
Yeah.
okay? And so the framework of the deal just didn't make sense for the Knicks and where they are right now. So I think they deserve credit for walking away from that kind of deal, because I think it would have really handicapped the organization. That being said, you came in here talking a big game about the might of CAA and we know stars and we have relationships and blah,
Right.
blah, 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 blah. And the best that's done for the Knicks is Jalen Brunson. I think that's an
Whose
indictment
dad
of,
is on staff. Like,
oh
that's
my
the thing.
goodness. I
Right.
mean, and that's the thing too. Again, the La Familia part.
Mm.
Rick Brunson was Leon Rose's first client. Leon Rose was there for the birth of Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
Okay, like, these guys, they're not even just like close, like, they are extremely close. And then, Brunson had his own issues. The people listening to this, go look that up. Had his own issues in his previous stops as an assistant. They brought him in. Gerson Rojas, another CAA guy, flamed out of Minnesota for some pretty dubious stuff. Leon Rose and them said, come on down, brother. Not only just come on down, negotiate, be the point person on the Donovan Mitchell deal. You understand? Which is that's not really what you see out there
Yeah.
when it comes to management and organization structures, where a guy just comes in and he's doing the most important deal of the last 10 years for the Knicks or something crazy like that. And so, or potential deal. Yeah, that's just how it's operating. I think this year they're not going to be some doormat. Like, you're going to have to play well to beat the Knicks this year. They have a decent amount of talent. I think they're going to play pretty hard and cohesively. And, I think there's to the degree that they've experienced any real success, there is a lot of continuity in New York, and I think that'll matter. So they're not going to completely stink, but I don't know how you look at this roster and think something great is going to come out of it. And to get back to Julius Randle, I think the problem with Julius
I was
Randle,
about to bring this up. Sorry to interrupt you, but like, how is he going to be off ball with Brunson?
that's okay. and take it away from Brunson.
Yeah.
Bring it to just the idea of a trade partner. He doesn't make sense on a team that's really trying to win at his price point. Meaning, it's not that he's not a starting level power forward, but on a team that already has really good efficiency on ball, right? Like shot creation, somebody who's gonna one or two guys who consistently creates efficient shot attempts for your offense. So he's not going to be asked to do that. Essentially, he's going to ask to do the complementary stuff on offense, which is what? Set great screens, knock down open jump shots, maybe hit the offensive boards every now and again. That, be a decent passer, connector, keep the ball moving. That's what he would be asked to do on a real team if he was traded there. I don't know if any of the stuff I just mentioned sounds like stuff that Julius Randle excels at. And then, of
Right.
course, defensively. It's not as if he comes in on defense and he automatically makes you like a beast on defense, right? Like, nobody's going to be like, say, an Evan Mobley, who at the 4 can switch out to wings. He can guard point guards at the end of possessions quite credibly. He protects the rim. He does all of these things on defense. Like, of course, you're not that, but I'm just saying, like, a impactful defensive player would be checking off some of those boxes. Julius Randle doesn't check off any of those boxes, right? So he's like this ball dominant guy who at his best is pretty efficient at his best. And you can't really scale that to the best of teams. And so, you think about somebody like Andrew Wiggins, who I think of similarly, where it's like Golden State was like, yo, we're not crazy about the price tag,
Right.
but it's obvious what his value would be in the best of worlds. He'd be a fourth option type of scorer. He's a wing defender. He's got the athleticism to do what he has to do on rebounds. He's shown that he can be a pretty decently efficient knockdown spot-up shooter. Like, I think Wiggins is the kind of guy that, you see Randle is in a place like we tried him as a ball-heavy guy, ball-dominant guy. Him in that position will never equate efficient enough offense to make you truly great, but complementary, maybe his skill set can still lend itself to excelling at that. And I don't think Julius Randle is that. I don't think he's going to be able to excel in a complementary position for a real team. So a rebuilding team doesn't want him. So where does he go?
Sorry, I'm dying over here. I had some like tickle in my throat, but I think I'm good now. I'm gonna survive.
It's all good. I thought you might have had like a hot pepper or something. Might have maybe been eating some ghost peppers or something.
Randall's making me sick. Thinking about Randall's making me sick.